Hello and welcome back to How It's Done TV. Today we are here at the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce. We're going to go behind the scenes and learn a little bit about them and get some education. Today I'm here with Stephanie.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good, good.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Stephanie Zingaro and I'm the Member Benefits Director here at the Chamber. I'm also the bookkeeper. So I just had my 3-year anniversary, so I've had the best 3 years, I think, of my work history, and I just love it here. So some of my job duties, I make sure all of our members have all the benefits they are looking for, and make sure they understand what those are so they can utilize them. And yeah, just make sure that all of our financials are in order.
Could you give me a little bit about the Chamber basics?
So currently we have 351 members of our chamber. Of those chamber members, we have 1,000 emails that we're able to send out, advertising to our newsletters. You can do an e-blast of whatever you would like to our members. And you don't have to be from Wadsworth to be part of our chamber. So we have people or organizations or nonprofits that are outside, especially nonprofits, so they can, utilize the whole county. And there's not a certain time that you have to sign up. You can sign up anytime. We prorate our members in. So, if you're, and our membership is based on how many people are in your business or organization. So if you have 1 to 3 employees, it's $225, and then it goes up a little by each employee that you have in your company. So right now it'd be about half of that to join.
Okay.
And we have a business directory that people can utilize. So when you're a member, you'll be in there and you'll be able to sort that by name or category. So and that's utilized by anyone who would like to, look for a business on our website.
Oh, thank you. What is the benefits into being a member of the Chamber of Commerce?
So networking. Networking is our #1 benefit, of course, and promotion of that small business or business. So we have lots of ways that you can do that. We have our monthly chamber luncheons. We have a directory on our website that you can utilize as a member and as a non-member.
And then you mentioned about events. What exactly does the Chamber do for events?
Okay, so we have several events. We have monthly luncheons, so that's our big one. They're once a month, except in the month of November because of the way the holidays fall. And they're usually the last Wednesday of the month. Sometimes we have to move those up. Like this month, we just had it yesterday.
Okay.
Because that runs into kind of the 4th of July. So it's a great way. We have over 1,000 people who attend our luncheons. Did I say 1,000? I meant 100. That would be a lot of people. So, and we try to do different themes. So in January, we usually have our nonprofit fair. In February is usually the State of the City, where the city comes and talks about what's going on. But we moved that because of, we had to cancel our February one COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always adjusting for that. We do an Easter basket scholarship auction to raise book scholarships for graduating seniors of Wadsworth. We have the state of this school, so the superintendent comes in and talks about the schools, going through each month. We have a taste of the chamber, and so our different businesses that provide food services will come in and give a sample of those. So that's in October, so that people can get ready for the holidays.
Okay.
We have a holiday luncheon where we have the choir or the jazz band, depending on what year it is, come in and perform for the members, and so that's fun. Some of our other big outside luncheon events are, we have a golf outing, which is coming up on August 8th. It's a Monday. And so we're full. We sold out, so that's awesome. But we still are looking for sponsorships. So if anyone would like to be a sponsor, and you don't have to be a member to do that.
Where do you have the golf outing at?
𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏.
𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏,
So,
okay.
Yeah, they're members of our chamber. So.
And then you guys also run the Rosie Awards?
Yes, and so those will be in September. So instead of a luncheon in September, we have the Rosie Awards in the evening. And that's a way for us to, highlight businesses that have done different things and, you know, done well in their business this year.
I attended it last year, and I really liked the categories that they had, like, you know, Business of the Year, Employee of the Year. You highlighted, I think, people's achievements, and it was pretty emotional for some of them because they have been through so much through COVID.
Right.
And they were just happy to be open, and I really liked the fact that a lot of those that were from chamber or the board, they all came together to celebrate all these people. I thought it was at the Galaxy. It was really nice there. You guys did an amazing job.
Thank you.
And then you guys just have that once a year.
Correct.
Okay. And then when do you guys start the process for that?
Now, it's a long process. So,
Okay.
yeah. So we'll start putting that together here. We're going to be meeting, and then you know, we put it out so for people to nominate a business or whatever category that we have, and then we take those and we send them for people to vote, which they feel, you know, should be, and then we take those and, you know, choose who the winner will be, and that's done by a selection committee.
So you guys are really busy.
We are. And it's just Jamie and I, so.
Yeah, you guys actually do a lot. That is amazing of all the stuff that you guys go ahead and do.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about, I know that you guys send out like a newsletter, it's an email. Can you tell me about those?
Yeah, so our members get a weekly email that goes on Sundays, and our members can put anything they'd like in there. We try to highlight, if you know, we like when they send them stuff, but sometimes we find it. So if any events they have, any awards they've won, whatever they'd like to put in that newsletter is completely free to them. At the bottom, you can advertise in there for $2.25 for the year, and so that goes out at least 50 times a year. So at Christmas, sometimes people aren't looking at it at Christmas time, but so.
Oh, that is awesome. Now, inside that email, people are advertising, and you guys also highlight specific businesses as well.
So if we have a new business that joins, we'll put their information in there so everyone can see who the new businesses are that have joined the chamber, and whatever they've got going on, we'll put in there.
And then, what is about the commercial properties that I've seen on your website? It shows where you list where they can be rented or bought. How do they get on there?
Yeah, so our members can send in, our realty members can send in any of that, or they can log in and put it on themselves. So they have an option to do that. So either way, or jobs. So if anybody is looking to hire someone, our members. So it's always a benefit to being a chamber member. They can post jobs on there. They can do it themselves or send it to me, and we put them both on our website and in our newsletter to help them find it, because I know right now it's difficult for people to find good help.
Thank you so much.
You're
You
welcome.
obviously do a lot. And then going forward, do you have anything that you would like to tell the businesses that are not part of chamber yet?
Well, I hope they join. We would love for them to join. So, we're here to help them be successful, get the word out about what they're doing, provide, some of the, other benefits are like we have a discount on their health insurance. So that's a big one for, small businesses and, need health insurance, and they can get a good discount through the SUMA plan through the Akron Chamber. So they'd be a member of us and the Akron Chamber for an additional $100. Discounts on their utilities. Just lots of different ways we can help them be successful.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, how are you doing?
I am good. Dawn, thanks for talking with us this morning. I have to tell you, one of my favorite things next to my grandchildren to talk about is the Chamber of Commerce. So I really appreciate you talking to us and helping the community understand exactly what the Wadsworth Chamber does.
Wonderful. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, my name's Jamie Parrish, and I grew up in Sharon Center, so I didn't really go all that far from home. But my mom was from Wadsworth, my dad was from Sharon Center, And my mom is part of the Thompson family, so they have Thompson Excavating. Yes, and so I have a wonderful Uncle Digger and with his wife Aunt Pauline. So it's been a treat for me to be around Wadsworth. I get to see them so much more, especially with the Wadsworth Lions Club that my Uncle Dick is a part of.
Okay.
And so almost every Thursday I get to see him, and it's a blessing.
We had Thompson Excavating at my father's house, and he was wonderful.
Oh, they've been around a long time, and I thought it was kind of funny because my Uncle Dick Thompson won the key to the city several years ago.
Okay.
And so the mayor's secretary called me and said about how do you spell his name? Does he go by Richard? Does he go by Dick? Does he go by Digger? And I'm like, oh, who's Digger? I had never heard that before, but if I say Dick Thompson, people don't really know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, back to your question, because I do go off topic a lot. Yeah. So I've been with the chamber for a little over 10 years now, and it is the perfect fit for me. So I had graduated from college when I was 40, so I'm working longer than my friends who are retired, and it seems like whenever I run into somebody, they go, "Are you retired?" And it's like, no. But luckily, I love my job, so it is so easy to come to work every day, and I appreciate this job so much. So I started out at the health department doing public health information, and then I was recruited by Hospice of Medina County. So I worked there in public relations for 10 years.
Oh.
And then it's kind of a funny story, but I just have to tell it to you because it tickles me every time I think about it. So I was a member of the Wadsworth Chamber for the health department and for Hospice of Medina County. So for quite a long time, 15 years.
Oh, okay.
And I truly did not know what a chamber does. I don't know. I went to the meetings every month. I enjoyed seeing people, enjoyed having lunch out, learning different things from the programs. Well, I got a call from my daughter, who I talked to. She lives here in Wadsworth. I talked to her several times a day, and she let me know that she and her husband, and they had moved to Wadsworth on Marlowe Street, off West Street, that they were going to have a baby. So we lived on the other side of Medina, so that's like a half hour, to Wadsworth. So I said to my husband, who's the teacher at Buckeye and had a 2-minute commute, that I said, I got to get to Wadsworth. I just got to get to Wadsworth because I have to see that grandbaby all the time. So it just happened, it's one of those serendipitous things. It just happened that I got an email from the Wadsworth Chamber of Commerce that they were looking for an executive director. So I didn't find this out until a couple years into my job, because it said, "Dear Janie, we are looking for an executive director." I went home and I said to my husband, "They want me. They want me." So then, years later, I found out everybody got that with their software. But I came down to Wadsworth, and I was going to get that job because I needed to be by my grandsons. Well, it was just a grandson one, now we have 2. Oh. So, yes, interviewed at the Strand, and that's where our office was originally, when I came here, was at the Strand. So, and then they were going to sell it, so we moved to this beautiful location too. Probably about 6 years ago now, 6-7 years ago, and we love our location. And when Unwind opened, we loved it even more. Because that's a good time down there.
Well, hopefully Christopher Zaffel said that he's going to start a wine passport program, like the brewery.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely awesome.
So you can just go next door and get your stamp.
Oh, okay. There is a hole in the floor, so I could actually put a tube. If need be. I'm just saying. Not that I've done it, I'm just saying. Oh, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about the chamber and about how we're governed and how we're funded.
Okay.
So we're governed by a board of, currently at 16, we can have 17 members according to our bylaws. So I manage, along with Stephanie, the day-to-day.
Okay.
And the board does the overall policies, things like that, that we're looking for to improve the chamber. We have an amazing board. We have a matrix that we look at too as we're bringing new board members on, so that we get people from different industries. So whether it's banking, real estate, all the different kinds of businesses that they're out there, because we want to have representation, you know, from that. And the board is very supportive of me, and I so appreciate that. Now, technically, they're my boss, but I would never let them know that. I don't ever want any of those 16 people to know that. But anyways, we have a really good time, and we meet once a month. And but the nice thing is they're always available for a call, by email, and I think we've done a really good job in growing our chamber and making it very vital to the community.
Now, is only chamber members on the board?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, because really you wouldn't, if it were community members who weren't a member of our chamber, I don't think they would have the engagement that the ones that who are constantly part of it would have. I just don't think they would.
Now, is there a time of year that you switch board members?
Yes, so the way our board, to bring board members on is when you agree to be on the chamber board, you serve 3 years. And if it works out that, you know, we're both happy with each other, then you can serve another 3 years. But after you've done 6 years, you have to take a year off. Okay. And then, like Joanna Perino was on our chamber board for 12 years. Yeah, her shoulders are still shaking from it. But the nice thing is that she wanted to re-up after serving 6 years to do another 12. Or another 6 to make it 12. So we really appreciated the fact that she had the chamber in her heart and, you know, wanted to be part of it. Because really, helping businesses is just so amazing. And that's one of the things I really like about our job, is that when people are opening a business, many businesses will come to us before they open. And they'll say, I want to be part of the chamber, because even if, for an example, like a large manufacturing company in Wadsworth, like a Clamco, their customer base is not going to be Wadsworth, Ohio, but they're part of the community. So even though they're probably not going to generate any additional revenue from being a chamber member, it's the sense of community that they provide to us, and we really appreciate it. Yeah, because it does take a village.
Oh yes, yes it does.
But I love when a new member will come, a new business who wants to join the chamber and say, I'm opening, and you know, this is what, and they tell me all about their business. Sometimes after they open, and we do check on them, and sometimes after they open, and we do a ribbon cutting, which is one of my favorite things. Oh my gosh, we have enough red ribbon to get us into 2030 because we never want to run out of ribbon. So if they come, you know, or when I check on them and they'll say, you know, I'm just really struggling with marketing, with financials, you know, reporting, things like that. We usually, if we can't help them ourselves and they need more than what we can give them, because time's a factor as well. We refer them to SCORE, which is the Society for Retired Executives out of Akron. So it's in Akron, but they've been around for about 55 years now, and they're a national organization, a nonprofit. So when an executive retires, if they're interested in coming back to a workplace and helping and using their expertise, then we refer them to SCORE, and they find if it's a marketing executive that they need, if it's a financial person that they need, if they're having trouble with retaining employees, things like that, we refer them to SCORE, and then they assign people who are experts in that field.
Oh, that is wonderful.
And there's no charge for it.
That's what I was going to ask, because I know that there's, I've seen several businesses out there looking, asking questions about QuickBooks and things like that.
Right.
And those asking about marketing. And so that is a good resource.
It's absolutely amazing. And to have that expertise from somebody that's put in years, and I can help to a certain point, because we can help. That's one of our jobs, is to promote their business. But a lot of times there's extra things that go on that I don't, with 350 members, I just don't have the time to be able to help. And then there's been times too that I've called other chamber members and said, this person's having trouble, could you meet with them? Okay. And you know what's amazing to me for this chamber is the fact that I've never asked somebody to help another business that they've said no.
Oh, okay.
So, and even though, people worry about competition's excellent. It's what keeps our businesses growing.
So do you have like a mentorship leadership program that helps these people?
We don't have it in place,
Okay.
and I think mainly because of SCORE. But we can call the economic development person in Wadsworth, Matt Springer, no relation to Jerry. I want you to know that. And then I asked him right away. And then also we have a great relationship with Medina County Economic Development Corporation. And in fact, one of their economic developers, Kathy Breitenbutcher, is our board president this year.
Okay.
So, which makes it even more convenient.
For those that don't understand what the economic development is, could you give just a basic description of what they are and do?
Oh, sure. So, say for example, you're thinking about opening a business.
Okay.
Well, you could call them and say, could you lead me in the right direction? So, because there's always permits to get, there's always guidelines, stipulations, things like that that are needed. You want to put up a sign, in front of your business, you got to go through the city to do that, where it's good to have all that information ahead of time. And the city of Wadsworth does have a packet that if you're interested in opening a business in Wadsworth, that you can get that, so you can just go right down through the checklist and see, what you need to do. So I remember a couple of years ago, I visited a new business and talked to them about, Wadsworth and of course the chamber. And the little sweetheart said to me, I'm collecting sales tax, but I don't know what to do with it. So,
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all those kind of things. There's reporting to do and things like that. So with economic development, they try to, they work for the county, and then we each have our own economic development department in Wadsworth and Brunswick and Medina. And so they try to attract new businesses, and then if there's issues with getting permits and things like that, but economic development exists to help the county grow.
Okay.
Through businesses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the chamber doesn't do anything in recruiting businesses?
Well, if I know of a business, because I'm out and about, and if I know of a business in another community that's, kind of ready to fly, I can talk to them. I had a couple successes, and Joanna Perino, for example, was perfect for talking to Nicole Nakota to bring them to Wadsworth.
Yes.
So Nicole called me and she said, I'm interested in moving, opening a second location in Wadsworth, and I have some questions. So we talked over the phone different times, and Joanna was right in there. But I think a lot of times it's the opportunities that come from within the people in Wadsworth. They'll know somebody that's saying, I'd like to open a business, and then there'll be an open area.
Okay.
So I've tried for a couple years now to get Marks to come to Wadsworth. That aisle one calls me. But, and I would like them to go up where it was Peebles.
Mm-hmm.
And they have other things in the making. So not this year and not next year and maybe not the year after, but I think to me that would be a perfect spot, but yeah.
So it's not technically your job to recruit. That's what a lot of citizens have been wondering is who goes out there and brings all these businesses in, or do they just get a referral? How does that work? And because some people thought that you were part of the city.
And we are not, yes. In fact, the city pays us dues to be members of the chamber, and that encompasses all of their departments too.
Okay.
Okay. So as far as bringing new businesses in, usually other than from economic development and the small businesses, it'll either be word of mouth. You know somebody that's been kind of checking things out, and it's like, hey, I just saw this available. And then on the flip side, I have no way of stopping a business coming in.
Okay.
Yeah. So a great example is when Larry's Music Store came in next to Wadsworth Music, and I heard people were very upset with the chamber that that we let a business come in right next to an existing business that was very similar. Well, it wasn't. I mean, it basically was similar, but it's a competition thing, and they each had their own unique way of doing business and what they were offering. But I have absolutely no way of stopping someone from coming in. I would think that if it were to be like an illegal thing, you know, I think everybody would be able to stop that. But as far as it's a free country, you know, and it's that's all part of being an American.
Yep.
And on top of that, small businesses are the backbone of America.
Yes.
And you know what? You know, Sam Walton didn't start in a big box store like you see up there. Yeah. So it's people do think that, because I see on Facebook where they'll say, what does Wadsworth need? And everybody says restaurants, everybody says these retail, you know, things like that. And until they can make it, until a business feels it's attractive and beneficial to come to Wadsworth, there's just nothing you can do.
I know a lot of people have questioned why certain churches are in town, why wasn't it stopped, why isn't there an arcade? And I think there's a lot of misconception on how businesses and organizations come to town.
And you know, I was thinking too with do you remember when the senior center was torn down?
Yes.
Okay. And it has proved to be a great thing to have the senior center, what they can do with it. But that building was for sale for years. Nobody bought it, you know, until Bob 𝗪𝗏 bought it. And then we got all these calls, how can they be tearing this down? But the thing of it is that it was for sale for all that time, and if you wanted to do something with it, you needed to buy it. So we were part of the brunt of that. And it's like, you know, if you want to save something, you got to put your neck out.
Yeah, because I know that there's certain properties, houses, buildings that people have been upset that have been torn down. But then you also have the Wadsworth become part of the historic.
Yes.
And so I know that that's going to save a lot of businesses. Do you see that any benefit for Chamber of Wadsworth becoming historic in ways for advertising or anything?
Well, I have a receipt for a membership from 1912. I know, isn't that something? It was an insurance agency downtown here, and yeah, they I think they paid $12. And and so I love that, but I'll keep that because I think that's so important. But it was actually incorporated in 1954.
Okay.
So I meet with the city once a month, and along with the schools, and it's just an update. We keep it virtual because we're not deciding anything. You know, it saves a lot of travel time.
Yes.
And yeah, so I like to know what's going on with the city, and I'm sure they're just crazy about knowing what goes on with the chamber.
Well,
Yeah.
I know that the city is looking to remodel.
Yes.
And I know that there is a lot of businesses that are unsure of what's going to happen. When they do start their remodel process, are you able to get information from the city to give to your members?
Sure. Yes. And we will do that. I remember when they did the 94 corridor, and the city was excellent about giving out information about it, because you do need to know. You need to know what's going on, but it's been a really controversial kind of thing, because the streets are going to be torn up, but if things are over 100 years old, they're circling the drain.
Yeah, I know that my father talked about in regards to it has to be done. Those pipes are so old.
Yes.
So while you're at it, remodel. The thing that I've heard, the chatter amongst the businesses, they're afraid that customers aren't going to be able to get to them, that they're going to have to shut down.
And boy, that is a concern, especially as we're on the coattails of the pandemic shutdown. So it's kind of like, what do you do? It's kind of like a surgery, that sometimes you have to do rough things to make it better,
Yeah.
But I certainly understand the business aspect of it as well, and you see the drawing of what downtown
Yes.
will look like, and you can't believe it's Wadsworth.
No.
I mean, really. So I know there's a lot of concerns, and I feel so badly. It's a conundrum. You just don't know if it has to be done, but it's going to hurt to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I was wondering the other day, thinking about it, so I was talking to a business who was very upset, and I thought, I wonder if they just wait until everything breaks. And then people go, oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for
Yeah.
fixing it. So yeah, it's rough. It's a whole tough thing, but when things are 100 years old,
I know that there's been some remodels around here and permit issues and things like that, but the businesses are getting through it. Do the businesses that are already established that are with you, when they're coming to look to relocate, you refer them to the economic and into Akron to get help with that?
Well, it just kind of depends what they're looking for. If you have to go to the bank, you've got a plan. You've got it all written out how you're going to do things. And but if you don't need to go to the bank, and God love those people that don't need to go to the bank, then a lot of times, yes, we'll get involved in that as well. And people will tell us what they're doing. And I don't know if you've been to the new store downstairs, the Uniquely Handmade for You.
Yes.
And they worked and worked and worked to open that store, and when you go in, it's like, oh my gosh, how wonderful, and I'm excited for them. It is fun to be around people who are excited, and so I'm excited for them and their dog that gets to come to work every day with them. And then, but also I'm excited for Wadsworth, because we've been missing foot traffic for quite a while.
Yes.
And that they have over 100 artisans, or I don't know if they're called crafters, vendors. They call them vendors. So they have over 100, and that's going to bring foot traffic, not only from the public, but then also from the vendors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because some of them also do shipping and delivering.
Yes, and so I think that's just, I'm excited for them, and then every time I stop to get the dog a treat, because I do, they're just so excited, and it's so much fun to stop in and say hello, and see what's new. So those are the things that are so fun for me, is to see the excitement, and because when you open a business, you're putting your heart and soul into it.
Yes.
Nobody opens a business, puts a shingle out, and goes home and takes a nap. Nobody does that. It's your everything. A lot of people put their house on the line,
Wow.
and so we want to help them make it work.
Now, you have a Wadsworth Young Professionals. What exactly is that?
Well, it started right before I came to the chamber, so it's about 11 years now, and it's been really wonderful to see the progression of how this group has taken hold, and especially with young professionals, there's a lot going on. Usually they're starting a new job, or they're getting married, or they have a new baby, and so there's a lot of distractions that come with the young professionals. So they've worked it till they have like a great core group who make the young professionals work. So we call it a community outreach of our chamber.
Okay.
And so when we say young professionals, I go to it.
Is there an age range? Like some think that maybe it's like a high school thing, but obviously you said those having children, it's a different age range.
So I think it starts with the professionals.
Okay.
So it means that you've got to a place where you have a job, and you don't have to be college educated. It's just one of those things that they want to support each other. Because a lot of times when you start a job and you're the youngest one, you're having issues outside of work, trying to fit in, and so this is just a support group as far as and learning about different professions. Every month they do mochas and mentors, and so they choose a mentor each month, and it's usually the fourth Thursday of every month out at the Wadsworth Senior Center, Community Center. You know what I'm saying. Yeah. From 8 to 9 a.m.
Okay.
And so the mentor, it's been excellent for me to listen to these stories, because I learn more about our community leaders, but to realize nobody has a straight path. Yeah, I always admired those people that say, I'm going to be a doctor, when they're in 4th grade and they do it. Or I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a pilot, and things like that. I never knew. I just never knew what I wanted to do. And so I can't say it's an embarrassment, because it's not an embarrassment. It's more that, how come I didn't know what I wanted to do? And so to hear people's past, it's amazing, because nobody that we know of starts out and hits it, and accomplishes exactly what they wanted to be in 4th grade.
I think that, you're right, because college tuitions have changed. Some places have skyrocketed. Some decide to go towards the trades, because you've heard the trades are really suffering and need people. And then there's those like me that start at one career and veer on to another. So I think that those that feel like they have to go ahead and know right away, the young professionals, helps guide. Do you only have to be from Wadsworth to be in that?
No, you can be from anywhere.
Okay.
And in fact, they have now combined for monthly meetings. They still have their mochas and mentors here, but they've combined with other chambers so that they can have a wider base now too. So, which is very cool, I think. And then they also do cocktails with colleagues, and so they pick a different venue. I think they do that about quarterly or every other month, but somewhere where they serve some nice cocktails, and and they can just get to know each other. And I've attended a few of those, and it
would have helped if you had that passport.
And it's just been a nice group to be around. And you talk to these people that are in the young professionals, and they are up and coming. Yeah.
Now, you also started Women in Leadership, and that's very new. Could you talk to us about that?
Well, actually, this was in the workings for about 3 years, and the reason that we did not get it going was because of COVID. So originally we were going to meet out at Founders Hall, part of the Summa Health Center, and they of course couldn't let us in as a group. So we had a group from our chamber directors who said, we want to do this Women in Leadership to get not fluffy speakers, to get speakers that we're going to encourage, and empower women who are in a position that they're working and they need that little boost, to hear things. So we had our first meeting in May, second one in June, and then we have to take off July just because of the holiday.
Yes.
But it's the first Monday of every month. Yeah. So you buy your lunch, and we're having it out at the Suprema Center community room. And then this first year we didn't want to charge anything other than the lunch, just to have people get to know us. And that's something with the chamber too that we always do. If you want to see if this chamber is a good fit for you, come to a couple luncheons and see, is this something for me? Because I think sometimes people feel like they're in a community, they absolutely have to be in the chamber, and they don't. And if it's not a good fit, we don't want to take your money, truly. And there have been people that I've talked out of it, and just said, there's just nothing I can do to help your business. Yeah.
What is the goal of the Women's Leadership Program?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, the goal is to bring women together.
Okay.
So, of course, it's with the chamber, so it's networking.
Okay.
And so that you can call people if you're having issues, if you need something, things like that. So it's just bringing women together.
So you're already a member of chamber to be part of that.
Well, at this point, we're just opening it up. And in hopes that people will come and go, I really like this. This is a chamber function. We're going to be a member.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So, yeah, because we don't like to exclude anybody. Yeah, just come on in. But, yeah, you got to know that the chamber and the young professionals and the women in leadership are a good fit for you, or you just won't do it. And that's no fun. To join the chamber for a plaque to put in your lobby, that's just, we have so many wonderful benefits, and especially the networking group. And I really encourage people when they are joining, make these luncheons a priority. You'll never get a better networking experience than at the Wadsworth Chamber.
Now, I know that you guys do volunteer. You get groups together to volunteer?
Yes, so what our groups are is our chamber board members. And so quarterly, we do a volunteer, we call them a volunteer gig. So every year at Christmas time, we take a day and ring the bell for the Salvation Army. So in January, we did that. We've done it at Goodwill as well. But in January, we went up to Wadsworth Fish, and somebody had built all these beautiful shelves, and they had all of these products to put up there. Shampoo, conditioners, soaps, things like that. So we spent an evening sorting all of the donations and putting them on the shelves so it'd be easy for them to give to people.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we feel that the community so supports us that we should be supporting them too. And we're a nonprofit as well, that we live off, our membership dues and sponsorships and things like that, that we feel that it's very important to give back to our community, and because we can't give money, you know what I mean? There's, we're on a budget, and so we can't get money to help, but we can physically help.
Okay, and then if there's anything in closing that you could say to those that aren't part of the chamber, what would you tell them?
So Dawn, I want to thank you so much for asking me all of these wonderful questions and listening to my ramblings. Yeah, because the chamber is such a part of my life. But I really encourage our business community to think about becoming a member. Even if the Wadsworth community is not going to be your base, it is such a strong community organization that I really think that we could benefit from you being a member, and everybody being a member, but that might be impossible. Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. I could always put that on my wish list, but thank you, Dawn.
Well, thank you so much for going ahead and educating us more about the chamber. I know that people had a lot of questions and confusion, and we for sure got all that answered. If you have any questions about the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, please feel free to contact them. You can go ahead and get a hold of them on their Facebook page. They have a website as well. You can go ahead and email them. They have their emails available. I encourage any business, small business, individual, if you're just looking to network, to come and be a member. It's a great resource, and I found out today that there is extra resources that I didn't even know. I know many of you out there have had questions about, you know, QuickBooks and your taxes and how to market, how to get more people. And to find out that there is a service that they can refer you to, that is amazing, and that could hopefully help a lot of the businesses out there. I encourage you all to support your small local businesses. Remember, they are the heart of the community. They're the ones that put back in the community. So when you go and you shop local, just remember you're keeping those employees, and you're keeping those employees able to go ahead and give back to the schools and to the community. So thank you for watching. Until next time.